Hey everyone, this is a PowerPoint presentation on, sorry, I get OCD, on chapter 1, theories class. So just one second, I'm going to share my screen with you. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit, just introducing the class and the book and some personal characteristics of counselors that are important to know. So the book that we have presents 11 theories, but theories are just that, theories. Humans are complex. So when you're working with your clients, you're going to take into consideration so many different factors. Obviously, their goals, why they came to counseling in the first place, their background, their history, their cultural identity, which can include so many different intersectionalities of, race, gender, sexual orientation, age, education levels, just all of the different things that comprise individuals' identities. But you're also going to look at their worldviews, the ways that they see the world, what's important to them, their values. So as you're reading this book and you're looking for a theory that works for you, keep an open mind and a flexible approach while staying true to an evidence-based model. So our code of ethics states that we as counselors need to follow theories and approaches that are backed by evidence. So research that has proven that these approaches are effective. So the theories in this book you can use, but also, make sure that when you are keeping, one of the things we have to do as counselors is keep up with all the latest trends. So read research, stay up on the subject matter, and, find approaches that work with your personal style and who you are. So you need to know what your values are and which theory works for you. So as you're reading, definitely pick a theory that kind of jives with who you are as a person, your personality, your outlook on the world, and how you think problems are solved. So don't mind my typo there. I'll fix that in the PowerPoint later. All right. And the relationship. So maybe the most important thing to remember is that the relationship is key. These theories don't really matter if there's not an authentic person on the other end using it. So you need to know the client, be in tune with the needs, wants, and desires of the client, and use the theories to frame the human experience as a reference. So thinking, feeling, and behavior all influence change, and different theories may approach change and problem solving from different perspectives. For instance, cognitive behavioral therapy really comes from the assumption that our thoughts shape our feelings and our behavior, whereas an existential approach really looks at the givens of existence and feelings and a more humanistic perspective. And all of these things really comprise to influence change. Sometimes we change a behavior and that works for us and it can help influence our thoughts and our feelings. Sometimes we really acknowledge the feelings and accept them, and then that can help us take it a little easier on ourselves, and it can influence our behavior and change as well. So throughout your work with all clients, it's important to remember that the process is about them and not about you. And so if we can stay self-aware, then we can focus on the needs of the client. I think particularly as beginning therapists, we get into this because we want to help people. So our need really is to see change, to see growth, and it doesn't always work out that way. And sometimes we try a little too hard at the beginning. We have to be open to ambiguity, know that people change at their own pace, and be open to that, because sometimes it does get worse before it gets better, particularly when people are being honest about the pain that they're experiencing or have experienced in the past. So that's something to be aware of. we also need to keep an awareness of our own wants, needs, and inner healing that still need to be done. I have seen some counselors who are a little codependent on their clients, and they have a hard time setting boundaries because they want to help them so much. Like, the need is so great that they allow their clients to blow through their boundaries. They stay really late. They worry about them when they're at home. They shut out a personal life because they're worried about their clients. And sometimes that can happen because their clients are really severe. But regardless, it's important for us to be able to set professional boundaries. And I think that people who have a strong idea of maybe some of their vulnerable spots that they need to work on can they're a little more cautious and able to set those boundaries. So you want to make sure that your need to help is not overpowering your ability to be professional, because it will end up hurting you in the end. Carrying all that around is too much really for anyone to bear. Okay, so the therapeutic relationship. The therapeutic relationship really is the most important thing. It's so the theory of personality and techniques used in the theories can help guide you, but change comes through the relationship and the trust that you build along with some of those theories and techniques. So if you don't have trust in the relationship, you don't really have anything. So the therapeutic relationship really is the most important thing. And supervision and following ethical codes and using evidence-based practices will help keep you moving your clients forward. And the categories of theories that you're going to see in this book include psychodynamic approaches, experiential and relationship-oriented therapies, cognitive behavioral, systems and postmodern approaches, and the case studies will be really helpful in the book to illuminate how these theories work. So psychodynamic approaches are really rooted from Sigmund Freud, and they really focus on the unconscious, the inner world of the client, the id, ego, and superego, and repression and past memories, and relationships, particularly with caregivers. So, and how that impacts the life, the present life of the adult or individual. So those theories kind of involve attachment and the subconscious and working through the past. Experiential and relationship-oriented therapies are more of the humanistic approaches. So they're going to focus a little bit more on feelings, and they might engage in, creative, active techniques in the therapeutic process. I'm thinking of, existential therapy, Gestalt therapy. Not sure if there's Rogerian person-centered therapy are all under this relationship-oriented humanistic umbrella. And Gestalt therapy definitely has a lot of experiential techniques that are used, but they can be used in the other theories as well. Cognitive behavioral therapy is kind of the third wave. So cognitive behavioral approaches really focus on the thoughts and behaviors of the clients. So there's a belief that if you change your behavior, you can change your feelings and thoughts. And also, if you change your thoughts, you can change your behavior, which can then change your feelings. So it's kind of a different order. It's a little bit more teacher-oriented and steps and action-oriented, whereas the experiential and relationship approach is very client-directed, feelings-oriented, and a little bit more philosophical. And then we move on to the systems and postmodern approaches. So systems really so the first three categories of theories that I mentioned really focuses on the personal responsibility of the client. So the idea being that we work from the inside out, and that if we change our lives, we can change how we interact with the world. Whereas the systems approaches look at the whole picture, like and if you've learned about Bronfenbrenner's systems approach, it's really about looking at the different layers of society in which we interact. So Systems approaches really acknowledge that we're a part of a family system, we're a part of a community system, or part of a political system. And that those systems impact us, and we also impact the system. So it's a little bit more comprehensive in terms of acknowledging those external environmental influences that can impact the well-being of the client. And then, yeah, our postmodern approaches can include some of our newer approaches like narrative therapy, ACT, which is kind of a combination. ACT therapy is like kind of a combination of mindfulness and cognitive behavioral, whereas, narrative and solution focused, which also falls under this category, is more about externalizing the problem. So we're kind of building off that environmental impact idea that if we don't identify so deeply with the problem, we can work on the problem and not internalize that as ourself. So there's a variety of approaches there that we're going to look at, but it's a little bit different of an approach than the three previous approaches. And don't forget to read the case studies and apply the theories in each to the case studies of Gwen and Stan in each section of the book. So that's just my intro video. We will continue to move along next week to chapter 2. So stay tuned. Definitely do your reading and your assignment for the week. And I hope you have a great day. All right, I'm going to stop my share and end this video. Thanks. Have a good day.